Okay, hello, Jayla.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Tell us, please, where you from?
From the Midwest state,
Midwest USA.
Wyoming. Yeah, kind of like by Colorado.
Can you share us your life wisdom about relationships? For example, do you consider men and women equal in relationship? Like, for example, would you expect your man to change when you have a kids? To change like panties? Would...
To change when like we had kids
Yes,
together.
yes, yes.
Well, I think
To wake
that
up, to wake up during the night, to
oh,
help.
okay, some of those things.
Yeah.
I think that you evolve together and grow together, but I think that's what makes life beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Because when you first, so say like I just meet you, right? You're a very different person and I'm a very different person. So, you get together and you share those unique experiences and grow together, right? So it's not like, expecting those things right away, but I think when when you first get together you have to like talk about those things, and that's super important. Like you say like waking up in the middle of the night and things like that, but it's also like who you're searching for, right? Like for me, I guess maybe yes, I do kind of have those standards and expectations of hopefully they would want to naturally do those things, but I guess as a man, I don't know. Some men maybe don't want to want to, you know, just be a caretaker and provider in some of the ways. So it's just communication and having the conversation of like what do you expect? What do I
What is
expect? What can I give?
what kind of values do you have in your
Yeah,
life?
exactly. I listened to a really good podcast one day, and it was talking about like some days your partner gives like 80% and you give the other 20 and
And
vice versa
yes,
in your different energy. But I think that's like really knowing someone and really communicating. So like going into any relationship, you have to talk about those things, and I would have to know like, are you a good communicator? Are you someone who can vocalize and talk to me about your
expectation,
yeah
values, and everything.
expectations and values, so that way down the road I know like what do you need from me. What do you need in the middle of the night.
Yes, it's very important to manage expectation because many people get into relationships and
They like them.
they have completely different expectations.
Seriously.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
it's like they've never talked about it
yes,
before,
and
you know what I mean? It's
exactly,
crazy.
and they keep silent
Yeah.
and keep expecting something what like
You know
partner cannot
what I'm thinking
provide.
about right now too, sorry, I don't mean to
Yeah, yeah,
interrupt
it's
you,
okay.
but it's important. I think it's really good to have like an equal balance, like in the relationship, and not in a bad way, right? What I mean by that is you can be firm, like, set the tone or like set what you need or want, but you can also do it in a really kind and loving way. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be aggressive about it. You can just be like, hey, this is like what I like am needing. This is what I'm feeling. Like, how do you feel? Just like ask questions. Like, what do you think?
Yes.
How do you
Ask
feel?
the right questions.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it gets you in trouble.
Yes.
But I think it's just all about like what you seek, because some people just don't even care. I've been around a lot of women who like literally don't care about any of those things, and I've been around a lot of men who like don't care about any of those things either. So it's what you seek. I think watching like relationship videos are something I've kind of been diving into, and a lot of it too is like stating that at the very beginning rather than, at the middle or the end, not 3 months down the road. It's super important to just talk about some stuff.
On your opinion, what the most common and the most maybe tragical mistake men usually do in relationship?
I recently experienced this.
Are you really?
I did, yeah.
So you have
And it hurts. I think it also hurts men too, but maybe they don't think about it like until after, a little bit down the ways. But I think maybe a really tragic thing is like not speaking up, not being honest with like yourself, because then it hurts you guys after. So not like being truthful, like about your feelings,
So,
whether it's good or bad.
okay, can you give us some example? Like,
Yeah. So I was saying I just kind of experienced this, and like I myself, like not even just them, not putting the blame on just them, but like for me myself, I wasn't like honest about my feelings until it was kind of too late. And like even with them, I think maybe they weren't honest the whole time, until it was too late. So it just didn't kind of like line up. So my advice is like just say how you feel. Like
but what do you think prevent you from being honest?
what prevented me?
Yeah, what prevented
Oh, I
you? Sorry.
know. I 100% know. I think I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
Like
His
being
reaction,
hurt.
being hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Afraid of his reaction and afraid of like being hurt.
So you see, sometimes we might hurt somebody
Yeah,
because we are afraid to be hurt
yeah.
by them.
I think I was like afraid of like love, and like now I'm like reflecting on that and I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I lost out on love and now I'm alone and I don't want that.
Have you ever had some thought in your mind that you might not deserve to be loved?
That's a good question, actually. Um, yeah, I think maybe at some point, like my question, I guess, to myself, which maybe like while I'm sitting here at this beautiful beach, I'll make it up. Like maybe I will think about like why. I'll think like to myself like why do I feel like I don't feel like I deserve to be loved. But I know in my heart and in my mind that I do deserve love. Everyone does. But I think at some point we all feel that way a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what I observing in nowadays is that many people ruin their good relationships
Yeah.
subconsciously because subconsciously they think that they don't deserve
Mhm.
to be happy, to be loved,
Yeah.
and they do some shit which
Right. Yeah.
in the end of the day like makes them miserable.
Yeah. And I think that's what I realized. And I was like, this is kind of my fault. And so what I did was just
You
kind
see,
of like
it's
said
good. It's
sorry. I was like, I really am sorry. And we talked about it and stuff.
yeah.
And it was okay. So,
You see, but it's good that you. I told
yeah.
you that you are wise from the beginning because many people and men and women they don't do self introspection after
Right.
relationships. They
Right.
continue like they expecting one thing, but they continue to do the same mistakes over and over again.
Right. Yeah. I think journaling has like really like writing
Yeah,
and
journal
just like
writing.
I pick a prompt that's like how can I dive deeper into like who I am but like also where I want to go and like
Exactly.
what can I change or like do better on, and it's really helpful to get
It's
my
very
thoughts.
it's very important to know where you want to go. Jessica, can you show 1 second the boat? Like, okay, look the boat. Okay, now come back to us. Because the boat, the ship, which doesn't know like where to go, how to say this in English? You know, like when the boat is going
The
somewhere,
direction.
the air must be like in the same
Yeah.
way. So if the boat doesn't know where to go,
Right.
like the air will
Don't
not.
fight against the currency. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, like,
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And tell us for you how is important money in relationships? Because, for example, like in Ukraine, Russia, like many women, it's like for them, it's like 90 percentage of kind of success because man can be ambitious and on the way to his up, to his
Yeah.
success, but they want it right now, like what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's kind of similar where I
In
live.
America?
Yeah, I would say so. It's a lot about like who's doing this or has this or whatnot. But I've kind of realized that um, at the end of the day, what I really crave is connection.
Great connection.
Yeah, more than anything because my family is all together. They're not like divorced or anything. My immediate family, so it's like I see the values in that, And at the end of the day, you can have a lot of material things, which is important to
Of
me.
course.